The summer wind came blowing in from across the sea. It lingered there to touch your hair. Walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, and then we strolled that golden sand. Two sweethearts and the summer wind. I don't know where the hell that came from. It's really cold here today, so I thought that warbling summer wind was the move to make. Hey, who's in? Hey, Ed. Good to see you again, Edgar. Alexis, don't you fucking yell at me. No, you will summer wind, Lex. That was not optional. Tom is here and saying, Quasar, Ashy, Austin, Tingus Bingus. Yeah, good to see you, Edgar. Yeah. and he posted a sticker for me. For those of you who don't know, I'm very simple-minded. Well, no, you all knew I'm simple-minded. But the stickers amuse me to no end. I just feeling kind of good today, and wanted to hang out with you guys and talk about stupid shit, and yeah, that. Joseph Allen, how you doing, my man? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. I'm doing good. Like I say, having a good day. I got I'm trying to. I was really concentrating a lot today. Well, the last few days, I'm trying to get some videos done ahead of time, for here and the Goosh, so we can do a 24-hour stream. And right now, if nothing else goes wrong, I'm on a path for doing so. I think we'll have a blast doing that. It was so much fun the first time. But don't let me forget to stop it at 23 minutes, or 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 50 seconds or something. So, because we discovered, much to my chagrin, last time that if you go the full 24 hours, YouTube doesn't post it. Why? Because they're assholes. That's the only thing I can come up with. Okay, Next King Game says, have you ever thought about reacting to cartoons? No. Like what? Like maybe Bob's Burgers or Futurama or something? Nah, those nobody would probably like those. But thanks again, Joseph. I appreciate that. Well, good. I'm glad. Ashley says your good mood is contagious. Who is winning the Super Bowl? Austin says, us. I was thinking of us starting a team. All right, who's I'm gonna play quarterback. So who's playing center? Because I get to put my hands between your legs. Come on, somebody's got to volunteer. And just put in the chat what position you're going to play too. I know tight end is going to get. that was almost a happy accident. I was going to say tight end is going to get taken. It totally is on our team. Our Quinder says not it. No, you might be it if somebody else doesn't take it. Left tackle, I got your blind side. I like that, Joseph. I like that a lot. That's cool. And even non-football fans can understand that reference because the movie The Blind Side with everyone's sweetheart. The fuck's her name? That actress chick. Willie says, I'll be the tight end. What's a football? Oh, Michael's going to be kicker. Good call. What will our mascot be, Shelby? Got to be the Goosh Man, doesn't it? The big creepy ass Goosh Man. That would be the. Yeah, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. I don't think there's any doubt about it. For one thing, I'm bringing weapons onto the field. I think not to put anybody down, but I think our team might be a little bit at a physical disadvantage athletically. So I'm thinking if we arm ourselves, we got a shot. Oh, Lex. That's actually that's a quality position. I should have called that one. No, I haven't watched the TED series. I want to see that. I really do, Adian. I love the TED movies. I see that series is going. I don't have enough time in my days to. I'd like to make reactions to that too. Especially as I said, I'm trying to get videos done ahead of time so we can do a 24-hour stream. I think that'd be fun as hell. Wait a second. But you guys got to tell me honestly, how interesting is a stream when if I'm going to do a 24-hour stream, you guys are going to get like hour-long blocks of this. And it's me. Fat 62-year-old me. How are you guys going to tell the difference between if I'm sleeping or if I'm just dead? Or wait, if I'm dead or if I'm just sleeping. I think the just should go in front of sleeping, not dead. Someone will call 911. That's what I'm saying, PK. I would hope someone would call 911. Oh, you know what? In these streams too, you guys gotta help me think of some more cool stuff to do. We're getting more and more channel members here that I can do with channel members. Now, I figure if we ever get them up to 100, I'll do some channel members only streams. But there's not much sense in doing it till you get to then, just because not because of anything monetary, but because you got to remember, even if you have 100 people, how many of those 100 are going to be available at a specific time when I stream? So, I think we need that number just to have enough to have an interactive stream. And of course, all my streams are interactive. What do I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ashy? He's a phenomenal bodybuilder. I mean, as far as a politician, meh. Good dude. Seems all right. Mintman says, it's me. I'm dumb stuff. Commence talking about me and only me. If Deborah asks, I have moved to Namek. Hey, we've got the original joke squad in here, because the precursor to us even doing the joke streams that you'll see we have sometimes was Ed, and Edgar, who is in here with us now, and Retro Mint Man used to post jokes to us all the time. That's how the whole thing started with Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, we did nothing but tell Stephen Hawking jokes for months, right, guys? Wasn't it? And this was before he died. Not that it would have stopped us, because we're tasteless and proud of it. Whew, next King of Games. Come on, that's... Alex says, do you have abs? Yes. Can you see them? No. They're covered by pounds and pounds of blubber. That's a tough one. Next King of Games. Who's better, Denny's or IHOP? I haven't been to a Denny's in ages. But I'm familiar with both. I am a fat man. I am familiar with anything to do with pancakes and syrup. For me, IHOP. IHOP's got so many different combinations and stuff that I like. Plus, it's got good memories there. Before we moved to North Carolina, when we used to just come down here to hang out or to visit family, there was an IHOP right next to the hotel we always stayed at. So we'd go there for breakfast and have a lot of fun memories with my wife and Brax when he was a little bitty guy in that IHOP. Yeah, I don't know, Alice. How did Professor Hawking get it up on Epstein's Island? Apparently by watching midgets do math, right? Isn't that what he's supposedly doing? That's just so confusing in so many ways. I think the midgets were adults, though, weren't they? Is midgets offensive? Little people? Okay, midgets. Arkwinder says, suggestion for the 24-hour stream and future streams, you can do live reactions to long-form YouTube videos. The only problem with that, Arkwinder, and I know a lot of people do it, is we have such a long, honorable tradition here with YouTube of getting community guidelines strikes for stuff that everybody else can do. That's why I had to stop. I Addict the one when he was still making those Try Not to Laugh. I had to stop doing them because other people, as you guys know, thousands of people used to do reactions to them. I would get strikes for them. So that's the only thing that makes me sketchy about doing stuff like that. Ed and Eddie. Oh, that Power 900. That was such a great show. Ed and Eddie. Those kids reminded me so much of me, sadly. And the banging everything with their head. And you guys have seen my wrestling career. It all comes together. Queen or Rolling Stones? Oh, for me, Austin, Queen. I mean, nothing wrong with the Stones, but Queen is my favorite band of all time. Freddie Mercury was a goddamn genius. Johnny says, well, midgets or whatever the preferred nomenclature is would do it for me, yeah. Christian the Pyrobird says, hobbits, dwarfs, Santa's elves, gremlins, imps, gnomes, and halflings are all totally non-offensive terms for midgets. Yeah, Em, you with me? Yeah, Queen. Oh, Freddie Mercury was just one of a kind. That's why my wife likes watching those. I think I've told you guys this before. She likes watching a lot of the reality shows, especially singing or dancing or any of that shit. And she'll watch those singing competitions, and I'll watch where they're here or there, but I get pissed off whenever they try and do a Queen song. It's like, no, listen, do something by somebody where you're not going to sound like a complete bag of shit in comparison, which all of us will sound like when compared to Freddie Mercury. Hey, that was very kind of you. Hi, I'm Kageo? Kagekao? If I say every possible pronunciation, one of them will probably be right. But thank you, I appreciate that. A gift of a membership. Who got it? Oh, and Joseph got it. Nice. Thanks, appreciate that. Brandon says, hey, Curtis, what would you say is the most nostalgic moment on your channel in the past? Ooh, I love some swimming. Good to see you again, too, Brandon. Oh, well, Brandon, you know as well as anybody, there's been so many weird and wonderful things have happened over all these years. What, May will be 13 years? The whole things with SimSimi were great. To this day, the music video we made of Good Candy still gets talked about. Of course, the first thing that really almost killed me on camera laughing at was, I can see the future. I don't know. I can remember. So when we were first starting the channel and we would play Call of Duty, and I would troll people in that. We had a lot of laughs there when I would do the Mickey Mouse voice, and he would be getting high off the grenades, the smoke from the grenades, and that guy I had believing that I was playing from a prison, and it was part of my part of my recreation time where I could go online and play Call of Duty with people. I don't know. Being Boozled, good one, Willie. I still don't have that taste out of my mouth. For those who don't know, we did that Bean Boozled challenge years ago, and they were gross. But at the end, I'm thinking, hey, I'm an attention whore. I'm going to do anything I can. I said a long time ago, I learned in life, if I think it'll make my friends laugh, I'll do it. I don't care if it hurts me. I don't care if I get arrested for it. If I think it's going to be funny. So I had a bunch of the Bean Boozled left, and I threw them all in my mouth. That was so fucking gross. Oh my God, that taste. Those things are bad enough when you get the nasty ones, even some of the ones that aren't supposed to be nasty, by themselves. When you mix them all together, oh shit. Just thinking back on it. It wasn't quite as bad as taking a whole piece of American cheese and putting it in your mouth, but it was close. Pal World. I didn't see you guys talking about Pal World. Brax is downstairs playing it right now. He says it's really good. He likes it. He's playing with a buddy of his. I thought about getting it and playing it on a stream here. I didn't know how many of you guys would be interested in it. And of course, right now too, I'm playing the Hogwarts game. That's really fun. And I do have my wife. I'll get her up here one of these evenings because she's gonna play Outlast. that shouldn't delight me as much as it does. I probably won't see the UFC event tonight, Mr. Majestic. I'll probably just catch the highlights tomorrow. Liam says, of course he is. Yeah, he is. He was just telling me about it at dinner. Is it good, Lex? He's liking it. He's having a blast. Him and his buddy. I don't know if he's playing with Alex. You guys saw or heard Alex playing along with us the other day in a stream, or if no, I think he's playing with his friend Sean. Joseph says, "You ever heard of the band Sabaton?" I don't think so. Sabaton? That's not familiar to me. Nah. Kyle says, "You know why you can't take Pokemon in the bathroom? Because they'll Pikachu. Peek at you." Hey, I've got with this setup now, like I say, I can send our stream over to my phone anytime I want. That means when I have to go to the bathroom, I don't have to leave you with Spaz chair. You guys can come along. No. In other words, I'd just be daring YouTube to finally put an end to this channel. Yeah, he was telling me that, Lix. Lix says you can catch the human NPCs with the Pokeballs and force them to do slave labor. It's pretty funny. That's one of the things that intrigued me. It's like, I'm not a proponent of slavery, as far as anyone can prove. But I mean, NPCs as slaves seems like it would be okay. Lix says, "No, I want to be with a chair." I know you guys do. That's why you can't. It'll be on my phone now. Because I am as petty and puerile as they come, and I don't want as they come. I don't want anybody getting attention other than me. Even though I like this Spaz chair, the last one met its demise the way it should, at the edge of my blade. But this one I like. That's very kind of you, Dr. Dirt. Get this 5 Spaz Boys Comedy memberships. Guys, we might get that up to 100 soon. And then what I'll have to do is I'll have to post to just the channel members. And if we get it up to 100, because I've been just trying to think, I'd like to offer, something special to channel members. So I was thinking having those exclusive streams, but I'd have to ask you guys if you guys want to do streams like this, where we just hang out and talk, or if you want to do a gaming stream or something, a stream with a purpose instead of whatever the hell I'm doing here. But thank you. I appreciate that. That was kind of you. I always check and see who got the memberships. Chrome got it. Jeff got it. Nice. Very, very cool. Willie's in? I don't know what we got. I can look for you guys. I'm not sure what our numbers are right now of. See if I can find it in the new dashboard. How many okay, members. See all members. That would probably be a good place to go. You don't give me Jesus Christ, you don't give me a total? It's showing 41, but no, it's gotta be more. It's gotta be more than that now. Gotta be. Yeah, gotta be more than that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm showing off right now. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 7, 9, 40. Yeah, it says 41. Did it put in all the ones that you guys... Yeah, it did just put them in. Boy, I mean, not that that's bad. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with 41 members, but I thought coming into today we had like 30. Oh, that wasn't off much. I thought it was like 37. Oh, Jake's in too. Yeah, once we get to 100, we'll do that. And you guys feel free to tell me too. At any point, whether you're a channel member or not, if you can think of some good perks that you'd like to have for channel members, let me know, because I feel bad not offering you guys anything other than, the badges and shit like that. Yeah, like Jeff and Jeff's posting there. We got the little icon pics and stuff, but I'd like to give you guys something more tangible, and that's I love streaming, obviously. So that's the best thing I can think of, is at least a once a month, just a channel member stream. Juking Jarvis says, "Hi Curtis, been watching since the Naruto reactions. Just wanted to say love the videos and keep up the great work. What's your best?" Thanks. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. There are one of the many downsides to being an old fart, as I am, is I'm not going to get to rewatch in my lifetime, because there's so many things that I want to see now. I'm not going to get to rewatch as many things as I would really like to. I would love to see Naruto again. I watched that. That was the first real anime I watched. And you guys know, all you anime fans know, I mean, it sounds stupid to say, but there is an art to watching anime. Watching anime is different than watching typical Western fare. And I would like to watch it again with the knowledge I have of how anime is structured. I would love to watch Hunter x Hunter again. Still one of my favorite things I've ever seen. But I'm never going to get to. Now, I am going to try and get my wife to watch the One Piece live action with me. Now that we're watching that, excuse me, we're watching it over at the Goose, at our Patreon. I really, really like the way they did it. I like the actors. Everything about it has been good. So I'm going to get my wife to watch that with me, because it's a bit of a commitment to try and convince her that, oh, no. Start watching One Piece. Only, 1,000 and, almost 1,100 episodes. You'll be caught right up with us. But now having this as kind of an abridged version of it, I think she will watch that. I think she'll like it. Chrome says, it sold 2 million copies in less than a day. Oh, the game? I think Pokemon is going to sue. They clearly plagiarized designs. The creator talked about using AI and avoiding copyright with it. Oh, really? I might have to get that then. What's it called? Name one out of my mind. Pal something. Pal World. Do you guys want me to buy that? Would you want to see Pal World? Dub C says, I love when you affect your traps, bro. No homo. Oh, yeah, it can even be a little homo. Oh, we can always do a trap flex. Till the day I die, this is going to be my move. Listen, I worked a long fucking time, because right from when I started out in wrestling, I understood, it was pointed out to me, taking those nasty ass bumps in wrestling, the only natural protection you can build, because what you worry about most is your neck, obviously. The only natural protection you can build for yourself is a big neck. And I have really large trap muscles to try and protect that neck. It's not an accident. I couldn't tell you how many hours of shrugs I've done in the gym. Anything to build those traps up. Toby is a good... Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that, M. I didn't see what was said. Peter Pumpkin Eater says, hey, Kurt, I know you hate Brian with all your being, but to be clear, you just hate the new Brian, right? The old one wasn't as douching kickable. Love your videos, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do hate Brian. Yes, 100%. Just the newer version of Brian. I don't hate Brian as much as I hate some other characters and different things we've watched, because he still does have funny moments. I don't think the one I posted today, the one I posted a couple days ago, it came up. Even when he's in douche mode, he can still be funny. So I don't hate him as much as I do like a Black Zetsu from Naruto or something like that. He's just an annoying douchebag. Such an annoying douchebag. And you're right, it's actually kind of a shame, because he started out pretty cool. And I can't even honestly say that it's a shame, because it works. He's somebody you really love to hate. At least I do. Dr. Dirt says, hey Curtis, whatever happened to that light novel you were writing? Time. Of course, I wrote the prologue, which many of you guys bought. And I have a significant amount of work done on the first episode of it. And now would be a perfect time to do it because I could probably do it utilizing AI because I can't draw. So I always had to commission the artwork. For my purposes and that, I could probably make do with AI. Actually, it could probably be pretty good with AI. It's just time. I would love to. I had the whole story from start to finish all outlined. I know everything I want to do with it. Hey, Jacob, thank you. I appreciate that. Best prank ever witnessed or ever been a part of in the wrestling business? Oh, ever been a part of in the wrestling business was definitely the sodomizer. I've told you guys that story, haven't I? I'm sure I have. I'll let you guys decide. Do you want to hear the story of the sodomizer? It is my most proud moment as far as pranking goes in the wrestling business. One of my proudest moments in pranking in general. Oh yeah, the sodomizer was awesome. It was just one of those times when the cosmos all fell into line perfectly. Everything came together. You've never heard it, Dr. Dirt? Super Saiyan Monkey says, I enjoy sodomy, so yes. All right. Yeah, I'll tell you guys. I'll make as brief as possible. We're doing a show in New England somewhere. And this kid I was wrestling this night. First, you need to know, too, our locker room in this particular house was an old cafeteria. And it still had those long cafeteria seats, tables with the chairs right attached to them and everything. So we're getting ready to do the show. And I was going to be working some young kid. I think they'd come up from New Jersey or somewhere. But the worst part about doing this prank was this kid was as respectful as it gets. Now, in wrestling, one of the very important respect things, Kagakao. As soon as I tell the story, I'll get right to that. I'll get right to your super chat. I won't forget you. One of the most important things you do, respect-wise, is if somebody's got a lot more experience over you and you're working that person that night, you find them and introduce yourself. You don't make. It's like when I used to work snooker or one of the ex-WWE guys. I would come as soon as he came in. I'd come in, go over, say, "Hey, Jimmy, how you doing? Blah blah blah. We're working tonight, so whenever you're ready to put the match together, let me know. I'm at your beck and call." And this kid did exactly that because I'd been in the business over probably closing in on 20 years then, and he was brand new. Came over, said, "Curtis, heard a lot about you. I'm really excited to work with you." Blah blah blah. Nice kid. So I said, "Okay, hold on." I said, "Let me put my stuff away. We'll start working our match out." So we sit now. We're sitting at one of these tables, one of the cafeteria tables, and right across from us, just a couple feet away, in the next row of tables, is a guy that used to wrestle for ECW as Roadblock. His real name was Joe. I don't remember his last name. Big dude. He was like 6'7", 6'8", 340, solid. I've worked him. Solid. Big man. So we're putting our match together. Kids all gung-ho for it and everything. And he finally says, "All right, Curtis, well, what's your finisher?" Why I said this, I don't know. It all came to me on the spot. Just one of those things you do because when you're a douchebag. And I said, "Well, here's the thing. I've been working on something new." I said, "It's called the sodomizer." And he just kind of looked at me. I says, "What I'm going to do is," I said, I'm going to send your greener ass into the ropes, hit you with a sidewalk slam, and then I'm going to drape you over the second rope. I'm going to yank your shorts down, and I'm going to prison sex you right there in the ring. Hopefully you're wearing underwear. I said, if you only got trunks on, this is going to be even more embarrassing for you. I said, but I'm going to prison sex you, smack your ass a little bit, push you onto the mat and pin you. And he just looked at me, and then he started to laugh. Now, this just came to me, so I didn't set this up with anybody. When he started to laugh, this Joe, who was a terrifying dude, leaps up out of his seat. He caught immediately what I was doing. He goes, "What the fuck are you laughing at, you little shit?" And the kid just looks up at him, and he's like, No, I thought he was kidding. Joe goes, "He's not kidding." He goes, "And Curtis has been in the business 20 years. You've been in it 20 minutes, and you're laughing at his fucking finisher?" And the kid's going, "No, I didn't mean any disrespect. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I thought it was a joke." He goes, "Well, it's not a fucking joke." He says, "And watch yourself in my locker room." So this poor kid, we watched him the rest of the night, you guys. We were second to the last match. All he did was pace back and forth in the back of this cafeteria all night, waiting to go out there and do our match. And we were all dying. We didn't let him off the hook until I was actually in gorilla position. We didn't even have curtain. It was black plastic, I remember. We're standing behind the black plastic. I said, dude, there's no such thing as a sodomizer. And I told him what the real finisher was. And you never saw a look of relief on somebody's face like that in your life. He goes, oh, Curtis. Oh, my God, Curtis. My mom is out there. And so this kid spent the whole evening thinking he was going to get prison sexed in front of his mom. And the best part about it was I had told him when I would throw punches, I come from a boxing background. When I throw punches in wrestling, I threw them as hard as I could and just short. I have really good control with punches, so I felt confident in that and I wouldn't hurt anybody. But I told him at one point in the match, I had to work him from the center of the ring to the ropes. I said, I'm going to work you back with punches. I said, count them. I'm going to throw 4. I said, do not lean in, because the next move was going to be to send him to the ropes. And a lot of times new guys will lean in knowing it's coming. I said, don't lean in, because you're going to get punched in the face. Sure enough, I go 1, 2, 3, and he leans to give me his hand. The fourth one popped him right in the eye. I'm like, fuck. So I sent him in, clotheslined him, whatever it was. I got him down the mat. I asked him if he was all right. He goes, yeah. So we're in the back, and after the match, and I came up to check on him. I said, your eye okay? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'm sorry about that. He goes, I can't count either, apparently. I said, don't worry about it. I said, I just want to make sure you weren't hurt. He goes, Curtis, as long as I didn't have to take the sodomizer, I don't care if you blackened both my eyes and broke my nose. He goes, so that was my favorite rib of all time. And I never got to do it a second time because word spread. But it was just one of those things. I still to this day don't know what made me say it. But I never got to do the sodomizer. Now, hi, I'm Kage Kyle. Says, I started watching back in early 2016 during the Dragon Ball Z reactions. Good stuff. I was 14 then. I'm turning 22 in a few weeks. Thanks so much for a part of my life this long. Sending love from Tennessee. Oh, we're neighbors. I'm right over here in North Carolina. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, my friend. It's terrible. Though, I mean, you guys all watch Spaz Kid grow up right on the channel. And I hear things like this all the time. You know, it was 14 when you started watching, and 22 now. You guys are all getting older and going out and attacking life. And I'm just keep plodding on. No heart attack yet. Lick says, and then they took turns prison sexing the kid. The end. But yes, that was easily my favorite rib. The sodomizer. Lix, I think you're one, and I say this with all admiration. You're one of the few people I think that would come to this conclusion. Lix says, do you think his mom was secretly kinky and was upset that you didn't do the sodomizer? Oh, you guys are funny. Chrome says, Curtis question, did he ever turn his back on you? I bet he didn't. Now that you mention it, Chrome, I think, yeah, he kept his back to the wall when I was around. and that's like I say, that was the worst part of it, is he was such a nice kid. Really good kid. So respectful and everything, but when the opportunity to be an asshole presents itself, you take it. Jacob says, on the wrestling note, has anyone you know from a school around your area asked you to come in as a trainer since you stepped back? Not in years. Yeah, they have. And I've been asked at a couple schools, sometimes just to do specific things that you're known for. With me, obviously, mic work was always a strong point for me, ring psychology and hardcore. So I've helped. I used to be a regular trainer at a couple different schools. And since then, yes, I've had friends, not so much anymore because it was back when I was in the Northeast, but I have friends ask me to come in and just talk to a class about ring psychology or talk to a class about mic work or this, that, or the other. Jake says the mom had her camcorder and everything. Oh, that was great. I mean, guys, you've never seen a more genuine look of utter and total relief than that poor kid. I'll never forget his face standing back there behind the black plastic, and he goes, oh, Curtis, oh, my mom is out there. It was a great moment. Johnny says, "Isn't the sodomizer basically checking the oil?" Yeah, but the sodomizer sounds better, Johnny. It's got more pizzazz. That's all. The oil checker, or it could be the. It could also be the credit card swipe. What the hell, Willie? This is, although I gotta admit, this isn't a bad finisher. Willie says, my favorite finisher is the Kennedy. You splatter all over him while he screams and tries to escape. Hey guys, I told you this before. Pretty much every single live stream I do, for whatever reason, gets immediately demonetized. Of course, as soon as I appeal them, it gets overturned because we're not doing anything against the rules. This one, they might have a case. The colon cleanser. That would have been a good name too, Monkey. Sweet Tooth says, what would have really got him is if you told him the real finisher, then plot twisted him with the sodomizer. That's true. That would have been a great twist. Oh, yeah, that would have. Yeah, you're right. I should have been more creative or more imaginative back then. That would have been the ultimate twist. You are 100% right. Jamie says YouTube sucks with the censorship. Well, you know what's really weird about it too? YouTube's constantly sending us messages how they updated the rules on this, and it's always to back off a little bit. You know, they're allowing this more and that more. But in fairness, when I do contest the demonetization, they take it away, or they put the monetization back. But why do it in the first place? I don't understand what. YouTube's going to be YouTube. Hindsight 2020. I know, Joseph, right? I know. Yeah, Cake is Elias saying the same thing. Chrome says, what's his name? I can kind of imagine that Arabic wrestler giving an explanation of the sodomizer. You know, the Sheik? The Iron Sheik? Oh, yeah. I never wrestled him, but I worked on shows with him. He's batshit. Funny as hell. It's sad that he passed recently. Oh, yeah, he's nuts. Oh, him. Yeah. Sheik, the Iron Sheik, just a little bit I know him, he would have done the same thing Joe did. He would have caught right onto it. Sheik's crazy. He's a tough guy, too. Because of that nutty persona and everything, and just the wacky guy that he was, a lot of people don't appreciate the fact he really was a badass. He's a tough guy. Oh, guys, please don't forget to, hey, smash that like button. Hit the like button if you would, please, while you're here. I got to start remembering to ask guys to do that. Just, especially now that we're doing a lot of streams, it does help us. The only reason I even care about it is it does seem to help us in future streams, the more interactions we get on current ones. So that much YouTube does seem to be telling the truth about. Renzo says, I love hearing wrestling stories. Oh, I can talk wrestling all day, you guys. I miss it. It's one of those things. I mean, I've been away from the business now. I'm trying to remember. I think I worked my last match in 2014. And it doesn't get it never gets easier. I miss it all the time. Joseph says, didn't Andre control Hogan for working stiff? He may have. I don't think for working stiff. The only reason I say that, Joseph, Hogan was too terrified of Andre to stiff him. I know Hogan laid smackdown on him because he didn't like him. They ended up being friends. At least if you... Yeah, well, it's not just Hogan. Other people in the business have said they ended up being pretty good friends. But early on, Andre hated him. So I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't know of Hogan ever being stiff with Andre. I can't imagine anybody being stupid enough to be overly stiff with Andre because it wouldn't work out well for you. Jacob says, did you ever meet or work with the original Sheik? Unfortunately, no, Jacob. I would have loved to. I worked with tons of guys who worked with him. Some who worked with him over and over and over. So I know a lot of chic stories, or I've gotten a lot of impression as to who he was. But no, unfortunately, I never got to work with him. Excuse me. Ashley says, "Hey Curtis, not to bring up psychology again, but do you have any advice to maintain a positive attitude into an old age?" The thing about advice like that is sometimes I'm a simple person and perfectly willing to admit that. So the advice I give is overly simplistic, but it works for me. You see me like this is who I am. I mean, I like anybody else, I can have bad days. I get in bad moods, but they're rare and they're fleeting. And that's on purpose. And it's only because I came to the conclusion a long time ago that in the grand scheme of things, life is really short. You're here for a blink of an eye. You might as well have as much fun as you can. And that's the way I live my life. I'm always looking for the next fun thing to do. This is a great example. You guys have no idea how happy as I become an old man here I am to have all of you and to be able to do this stuff. Yeah, just like today. Do you know how cool it is, especially when you're somebody with an attitude like mine, to go, hey, you know what? I'm just really feeling good today, and I just want to talk stupid. I want to have a good time with friends, and to be able to just come up here and have all you guys show up and hang out with me. It's great. But yes, it's very simplistic, but for me it works. It's just life's too short. I don't have time to want to feel defeated. And I know that doesn't work for everybody. And the only reason I hesitate to say it is I don't want somebody who can't do that just turn off the negative to feel like they're inferior for not being able to do it. It's just everybody's built different. Stop that, Lex. I don't plan on living to 30. Fuck that. I hate it here. No, Lex. There's always something. We all have our challenges. There's no doubt about it. Hell, I've been homeless before. I've told you guys that. Been bullied before. But you just find those little next steps. The next cool thing you get to do. I just went earlier this week. My wife and I got to do an overnight. We've been wanting to go see it. There's a gorgeous casino in the it would be the southwest corner of North Carolina in Cherokee. And not only is the casino gorgeous, but the whole surrounding area, the mountains around it, those Smoky Mountains are beautiful, especially with the snow we had the other day. So we went to check it out. And now, see, that wasn't a big, long getaway. It was just a couple-hour drive and an overnight. But I looked forward to that for several weeks prior. And it's just little things like that just keep me up. And now we're getting to go back because, holy shit, they do comps at that casino like old school Vegas. We got back and immediately they were offering us free rooms to come back. So we're going to go back the end of February because for a free room, what the hell? The food was good. They have a Gordon Ramsay's, got a whole little food area there. There's pizza, a burger joint, a bakery, fish and chips, and then Guy Fieri's got a restaurant there. We went there. It was surprisingly reasonably priced, good food, and the room is free. And I think I told you guys, I traded in my car once we got settled down here because my wife and I just like to be able to travel around, and got something that is good on gas as I could find. I got a Mitsubishi Mirage. It's 2.5 hours each way to that casino. Gas cost me $20. I love saving money. Kyle says, I have to have surgery on my right hand because I punched the wall for getting mad. My game last October, and I have to have physical therapy every week. I learned early on, even me with as much punching I have, and my knuckles are all screwed up from all the years of hitting the bag. When you get mad, give it the old palm heel strike. Don't use the knuckles. I learned that the hard way. Joseph says, did you have to deal with wrestler's court? We most organizations, if they're established, if it's just a here and there thing, not so much. But when you have an organized group, most of them have some semblance of a wrestler's court, even if it's not formal. But basically, you just have, you'd have people who were like the locker room bosses, and so similarly, yes, just not as perfectly structured as like you would get in the WWE, where the guys are and girls are together all the time. S. Blank says, I picked up the habit of just smiling for no reason because it improves my mood. 100% agree with that. I find more things funny and my thoughts are more positive. Completely agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, and even when I'm out and about, if I'm coming into the post office and you're coming out, I smile. Just, why not? Like I say, life's too short not to. Dr. Dirt says, all right, I'm going to sleep. Well, thanks for being in while you could, Dr. Dirt. I appreciate it a lot. And as I said, you guys, even if you're not channel members, anybody that's got any good ideas for perks for members, let me know, because I got to come up with some stuff. And again, once we get to 100, I think that's enough. We'll start trying to do a members-only stream. And like I said, I don't want to give you guys wrong impression. It's not like I'm not trying to squeeze more people into it. It's not a monetary thing. It's just until you get to that number, I learned that from having the channel, it's hard to do an interactive stream because you just don't have enough people that are available at a given time. Super Saiyan Monkey says, I'm going to go poop and get something to eat. Sometimes I do both at once because I feel like I'm being efficient that way. You guys didn't need to know that probably, but... Kyle says, how do you get Pikachu on the bus? You poke him on. I've been poked on the bus before, but I don't want to talk about it. Sweet Dude says, Ben 10 made me think hypnosis was for wackos, but you taught me otherwise. Hypnosis has the worst representation of anything I can think of, and it's just due to Hollywood. Hypnosis was always a convenient plot crutch for whatever they needed to have happen. Oh, the hypnotist guy came in and he sent hypnotic waves into our brains and we turned on the city and the whole nine, and it's never or very rarely fairly represented what actually hypnosis is. Yeah, exactly. Chrome says hypnosis is magic and entertainment. Right. It's magical, it's mystical, it's all powerful, and it's mind control. And when I would do hypnosis shows, I would always explain that to people. Because a lot of people still believe that hypnosis is the form of mind control. And I always explain to them, listen, mind control does exist. It is not hypnosis. Mind control is something that takes weeks, months, probably years, typically involves some sort of torture, and typically narcotics are involved in effective mind control. And I just simply do not have enough time for all that tonight, so we'll just do hypnosis. But a lot of people believed it. Spaz says there was a whole section on hypnosis in my psychology textbooks. It's actually a real thing. Oh, 100%. There's no, and you will, it's just, again, I think the Hollywood influence, you will find people to this day that think that it's fake. And that you go to hypnosis show and, oh, those are all plants. It's like, there's no questioning about whether it's real or not. That's like questioning whether or not wrestling is real. Questioning whether or not wrestling is predetermined. Obviously, no. Alex says, Curtis, what do you think about the current cost of living in America? We're just discussing that because my wife and I just came from the market. And now, guys, I tell you, I try and be careful. We have, we have 5 of us living here. My daughter, of course, has special needs. That it makes a really, really big difference in your monthly budgeting. I try and be as careful as I can. And in January so far, for us, and again, I am not out there throwing money around. I'm careful with it. In January so far, we have spent $800 in groceries. It's fucking brutal. And not, I mean, it's brutal for all of us. I don't want to feel, I don't want to feel like it's tougher for me than anybody else. No, I'm saying the cost of living is just insanity now. Edgar says, wasn't wrestlers' court sentences mostly buying the boys drinks to the bar or buying a case of beer or paying for the rental car? So not bad, not so bad. Yeah, typically it was. Yep, and like I say, it would be more with established promotions where you were the same people all the time, or even back in the day in the territories. You know, because, or if you had, even in the territory days, you had the same basic group of guys who would travel together and were together all the time. Yeah, but you're 100% right, Edgar. Yes, that's typically what it was. Stuff like that. Yeah, you just paid some sort of punitive for egregious behavior. See, the thing with wrestling was, in all its history, and I learned this just like everybody else did immediately, respect is the big thing. Excuse me. I don't know how it is now. In the old days, a serious breach of respect would not go to wrestler's court. It was handled in real time. In other words, somebody got the shit kicked out of them. It was just not allowed. Minor offenses, they would get handled in a wrestler's court. Or just minor other different things, like maybe somebody broke kayfabe or something. You know, you might get brought into wrestler's court for that, or things of that nature. But an egregious breaking of the code of conduct as far as respect, that gets handled immediately and gets handled firmly. Excuse me. Sweet Dude says, Curtis, I was wondering, whatever happened to the wall of relatives with their handprint on it in Spaz Kid's room in New York? Did you take it with you in any kind of way? There was no way we could really take it with us, so I took tons of pictures of it. And I still have them on my phone. What I want to do is, I don't know if I can find them right now because I'm terrible about cleaning out the pictures on my phone. What I want to do is, you know how they have those like canvas pictures they make now that are stretched? Oh, well, I'd have to switch to my phone. You guys can't see it. I don't think I have any in the shot. I've got one right there that was my son-in-law had made for me of a wrestling picture. I want to have that made so I can hang the picture. Let me see if I can find it. But I took there. I took a bunch of pictures of it so I can piece it all together. There's all the handprints. And that's what I want to do, is I want to have something made of it. Excuse me. Big Monkey says, I enjoyed the last Breaking Bad reaction. Oh, that show is so good. Gale begging for his life is still a very sad scene for me, even though I've seen it a ton of times. That scene was brutal. And man, Jesse's actor too. Everything about that show is so well acted, but the absolute pain on Jesse's face, the agony of having to do that. Really, really good stuff. Chrome says, don't believe me. Buzz saw the wall off and took it with him. It's all just a hallucination in your dying brain, Curtis. Call out for help now before you go towards the light. I don't think I'm going to see a light, Chrome. I think I'm going to see something much darker and sinister. Sweet Dude says, that would be nice. Let us know if you want any Canvas website recommendations. I will. I got to get that done. First, I want to take the pictures off. I got to get them on my computer and see which ones came out the best. And see, my stepdaughter, Renee, of course, she's disabled. Her handprint was significantly lower than the others because everybody else, obviously, could reach much higher on the wall. So I need to incorporate hers into the picture closer to them and everything, and then I'm going to have one made. M says, Curtis is going to hell like the rest of us if it exists. Yeah. I had always thought that once I get there, I'm going to work on a plot to take over. We'll see how that goes. Patrick says, hey Curtis, I'm thinking about asking a girl that works at my local gas station out on a date. I was wondering if you had any pointers or advice on that because I don't want to come off like a creep. What I would typically do in that situation, be right up front, go in, And make sure you're visibly holding rope, duct tape, a bat, and a clear chemical. I'm like, for me, with this face, you weren't going to go in and just sweep anybody off their feet with their looks. With me, it was always more of a make them laugh. Now, getting naked always did that, but I mean that was later down the road. But just trying to make somebody feel comfortable around you. Space Kid. That I know that's not much in the way of advice, but yeah, absolutely. I'm always a big believer in shooting your shot. Don't go around. You don't want to go through life saying, "Oh man, I should have, I could have." Go in, talk to her, get to know her, and see where things go. And if she's not interested, let us know. And yeah, and we'll Spaz can now throw in the trunk of a car for you. Mm-hmm. Not a problem. Okay. What's up? What are you doing?
Nothing right now.
Guess what came up in the stream early on?
Power World.
Correct.
Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's got to play it.
Yeah, Lick said it's fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know if the gang would really be into it, but it seems like a lot of people here are already watching it. Spaz Kid! Everyone's seeing him here. The spazziest of kids. Whoa, wait a second, Rosalina.
It's the main
character?
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
Well, now I got to stab you. I can't have a main character.
Imagine.
Joseph says, I just thought of a great movie to react to. Kayfabe? What do you mean? Is Kayfabe a movie?
No.
Could be. I don't even know. That would be a good name for a wrestling movie, to be honest with you. I've never heard of that, Joseph. Is that actually the title of the movie? I would watch that, obviously.
Yeah, that's true. Big Green. The real main character is Spaz Chair.
True. Well, and again, I don't have any issues with this Spaz Chair. This Spaz Chair is cool. The old one met the demise that he deserved. Oh, I'd never be able to find that video. I don't think I can find it. I'd post it on here for you. Where? Think I can find that, Brax? Remember when we took? What would I search on the channel? I think I put Spaz Chair in the title, didn't I? I think I did.
Or something
Let me see. We can show you guys what happened to the last Spaz Chair that I hated. Oh, we got it. Okay. Hold on.
Oh, yeah, when we had the garbage and everything.
We had the dumpster there. Yep. Hold on. It's a rather short video. I haven't watched it since we posted it.
I just stopped in to say hi to the stream.
Oh, thanks. We're glad you did. Seriously, Spaz. It's pop up anytime we're up here streaming. Oh, Joseph says it's a mockumentary that came out in 2007. It's free on YouTube too. Really? I'd never heard of that, Joseph. I would 100% watch that. That would be fun. All right, let me grab this screen area. I'll show you guys what happened to the original Spaz Chair. I just got to remember display capture part 1. Okay, so okay, it's got that area. Now, how do I go about this? I want to, I know there's a way to, there it is. I thought there's a way to, I'm still getting around this new software to, that I can highlight a specific, no, wait. I might have the wrong thing here. Hold on. Let me turn that off. That might not be display capture. Let me grab a new source. I think it's something different. Display capture part. Right, okay. Yeah, but that is part. How come it won't let me? Why won't it let me just grab? Oh, because I had already preset the part? Or I got to reset the part? Okay, I got to reset the part, huh? No. Come on. Order transform blend. I gotta learn to use these before the 24-hour stream. Oh, select area right there. Duh. All right. Now I'm getting it. I'll figure this out yet, you guys. Come on, I said check. There we go. Okay, now this was what happened to the original Spaz Chair. And again, I haven't watched it since we posted it. And for those who don't know, Chrome made all these intros for me.
Die in the end. Okay, guys, I promised it to you, and here it is.
That's the original Spaz Chair, and I hated that thing.
Spaz Chair.
Did
Why
not
I
support
hate
me
Spaz
properly.
Chair? Because I'm an attention whore. That's why. And in the old
And
days,
he used to get my
we
attention.
would do live streams back way in the old and yonder times when Spaz Kid was still in high
God, I
school.
was so young back then.
A lot of the days we'd be live streaming, I'd leave to go pick up Spaz Kid or something. Spaz Chair would be left in front of the camera, and everybody likes Spaz Chair better than me.
And that's not acceptable.
You know what that feels like when you're an attention whore? So
Fat guy kick.
time.
You don't want a fat guy kick.
I told you guys that you could see Spaz Chair's finish. Well, guess what? That's right, bitch. That's right, bitch. Cry.
This is how we handle things as Spaz Boys.
Come on. Come on, what do you got? That's right. Get your ass up. I ain't done with
Super
you.
kick in the
And all
face,
you
I know,
do is
Kyle.
Spaz Chair. Hold on. Yeah. Fix yourself. God damn it.
Now comes the real payoff.
One of the most
We went anime on him.
wonderfully featured items of Spaz Boys Comedy / The Goose. Never been used in violence before.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Poor
God is
Brooks.
right. Anybody, as you can see, I'm a master swordsman. This is the handle part, right? I swing this part.
Yeah.
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 You
Yeah.
sure? Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, back in the day, you can hear the car races that were always right near our house.
Guys,
There's a racetrack.
Spaz Chair.
Oh, that was slash hurt. Oh, the katana came through for us.
Let me point something out to you. A lot of you may not realize this. On a male chair, right here is the nuts.
Is the nuts? Yeah. Holy shit, that's a big ass.
Can we post this to YouTube?
Good question, Spaz Kid.
Susan, you may feel free to go ahead and demonetize this for the unquestioned but totally deserved violence. Say your goodbyes to Spaz Chair.
And this Spaz Chair is cool, but Spaz Chair, make sure you're paying attention.
And now it's time to say goodbye. Right here, bitch.
I think this is how Zorro got his start.
Spaz Kid, always with the wise ass comment. So that was the original Spaz Chair, you guys, or that was the end of the original Spaz Chair. Make sure I didn't miss anything there. No, okay. But this Spaz Chair, it's good for this Spaz Chair to have witnessed that. Just to make sure everything stays, because I'm going to be relying on this Spaz Chair if we do a 24-hour live stream to support me properly while I must snooze. That would have been funny, Zeno. He says, imagine if you missed the bin completely. Big Green says, hashtag justice for Spaz Chair. No, there is no justice. Spaz Chair is burning in hell where he belongs. When will Spaz Kid get the katana? Well, pretty much everything I have that relates back to all of us here will, of course, get passed down to Spaz Kid. Now the only annoyance I have in my life is Afro Mike here. Afro Mike isn't as much of an asshole as Spaz Chair was, but he can still be annoying. Joseph says the full title is Kayfabe, a fake real movie about a fake real sport. Let me look that up real quick. On the YouTubes. Let's see. Kayfabe movie. Yeah, a fake real movie, but a fake real sport. That's pretty cool. I don't know how. I don't know how I never saw that. Hold on, I'm going to bookmark it. Cool. Got it bookmarked. I don't know if there would be a lot of interest in it to do it as, as a reaction video, but I know I want to see it. I can't believe that went by me. I'd never even heard of that. Chrome says when he's capable of paying the inheritance tax. Oh, yeah. The government's got to get a cut on, everything and anything. Devin Singletary had 6 rushing yards up until a second ago. Ooh. Oh, that ain't sounding good for Texas. Just some dipshit says, that's a great screen name. Have you reached the age that you celebrate every morning you wake up? It's not so much a celebration as it is just like a sigh of relief. The eyes come slowly open, you go, it's like, all right, let's go. And I start making videos. Oh, of course, I'll always have the katana, Mr. Shank. It's right over there in the corner. Let's see, I don't know. I don't know if there's any Spaz chair blood remaining on it or not. Could be a little. There's definitely Spaz chair DNA on here. Yeah, run your finger across the blade, Curtis, because that's always a good idea. But oh yes, the katana will always be anything that you guys have given to us. I keep everything. Kyle says people don't think that the Lions were going to be this good. I certainly didn't. I'm one of the few people that's actually picking against them, though. I'm still not convinced. Not entirely convinced about Tampa Bay either, but if I were betting it, I would take the points with Tampa Bay. Yeah, Mr. Shank. That's one of the first things that was ever sent to us here from, one of the crew. Excuse me. Chrome says, you want to hear something insane? Minimum wage is going up again this year in Scotland. It's going from 10.40 to 11.44 for over 21s and 5.28 to 10 for 21 and unders. Wow. See, ours, of course, is well known here in America. The minimum wage hasn't gone up in many, many years, but I kind of get it because America is so massive. And the economies of local areas are so different, so insanely different, that really minimum wage needs to be handled on local levels. And that's what it is now. The minimum wage here is like $7.25 an hour. I don't know of anybody that pays that little. But the minimum wage in New York City was 15. I think it might be higher than that now. A lot of cities, it's higher than 15. A lot of states, it's higher, has a specific set minimum wage. But it's just tough. You can't really have a minimum wage that works for everybody in America because you have places where renting a 2-bedroom apartment is going to cost you $5,000. And you have places where renting a 2-bedroom apartment is going to cost you $1,300. So you can't have that same minimum wage in both those places and have businesses able to survive. So it's difficult. Super Saiyan Monkey says, I'm making $15 an hour. I'm in Maryland. Yeah. Now back in New York, by the time I left, I don't remember seeing much of anybody that was under 15. Down here, they are. They're starting to come up a little bit just in the year and a half we've been here, but still places will start you out at $12.50, $13, I see. But New York, and it wasn't even the city. We're actually in a depressed area in New York, economically depressed, and you never really saw anybody that was less than 15. Chrome says, whenever our minimum wage goes up, prices skyrocket. Also firings. Well, that's another thing, Chrome. We people in America aren't bright enough to be able to grasp that very real concept. You can't, and a lot of people want them to do it. There's people talking about wanting minimum wage in America to be $20, $25 an hour. And they can't understand what that would do to the entirety of the economy. But, again, simpletons. But no, again, when you look at the size of Scotland, as per the size of America, you can understand why there's just so many different levels of economic means in America. It's not a one size fits all. We can kill the landlord and get it for free, Lick says. Big Green says, depressed area, cheer up, guys. I know, right? I always did my best to try and get my area out of depression, if you call running around the neighborhood naked cheering up. I guess it depends on your perspective. Alex says New York is only affordable if you start an OnlyFans. New York City is brutal, Alex. Brutal. But from what I understand, it's not worse than San Francisco. Well, California. California and New York are basically, butt buddies. They're the same thing. Overtax you on everything. And the thing is, you don't get more for it. That's what really pisses you off. And we know this with having a severely disabled daughter. Excuse me. Obviously, we would never be able to keep her home if there weren't some programs in place to help us pay for some of the astronomically expensive things. So one of the biggest concerns we had coming down here was, how many of the services for Renee would she not have available anymore? And it's the opposite. Actually, the system she's in now for our needs, because again, all we really need for services is basically to have someone in so my wife and I are both able to do the things we need to do, be in and out of the house, so on and so forth. But long and short of it, we were shocked that we're in a better situation for her here than we were in New York. And New York's taxes are astronomically higher than North Carolina's. Wick says depressed area is what I call my bedroom. Yeah. I've been there. Your dad's bollock says, Bro Curtis, my sides are hurting. I was just pissing myself laughing at your Brandon Rogers reactions. Brandon Rogers is such a funny guy and such a good dude. He's been into our reaction videos several times with comments and just chatting with us and stuff. And what a great guy. Just a genuinely good person. Johan says, I'm lucky to have ended up working for UPS while I was still in high school. I've been there for 10 years now and make $25. Not bad. I'll tell you, I told you guys, I did not complete my college, but I took journalism when I went to school and did enough that I was able to land a job with a newspaper when I lived in New Mexico and discovered that I hated writing for newspapers. And I went into the blue collar world and never looked back and loved it. Absolutely loved it. Made decent money. I mean, nothing to get excited about, but had magnificent benefits. And that's why I stayed there. Those benefits stay with me now. That's why I stayed at that job for all those years. People talk about in America, there is no good health care insurance. That's not true. Does the healthcare system need work? Absolutely. But to say that everybody is in a destitute means as far as insurance goes here is patently false. I have my insurance from my job that I retired from, my health insurance for me and my family, for my wife, for Renee, for Braxton until he's 26 is the law here. That insurance, I don't pay anything into it. And it's considered a Cadillac plan. For instance, when we go to the doctor, if it's for your annual physical, there's no charge. But if you go to the doctor for something, the max charge is $10. If we go to the emergency room, the max charge is $75. Period. That's it. There's to say that there are not good insurance options, or that everybody in America is one moment away from being destitute due to an illness, is just not true. Rosalina says, I'm in my second year of university. I'm struggling, man. It's tough times when you're in college. It really can be. I mean, that's the old adage about, kids eating ramen 7 days a week is a reality for many. Chrome says, let me guess, you got a final year's paychecks pension scheme or something crazy good like that. No, it's just, that's why I stayed there. You couldn't beat those benefits. And I could have made a lot more money per hour driving, and I worked on road construction crews. And to work for one of the private companies, I could have made a lot more money. But the benefits were ridiculous. And it wasn't just while I'm working. It's like, I get to keep these benefits, these health benefits forever. I'm never leaving here. And I didn't. Chrome says, Curtis, you have some explaining to do, by the way. How have you, of all people, never seen Batman TAS? Really wondering this now that it's one. You love cartoons as Batman. I just don't. It's a time thing, Chrome. That's how there's so many movies, that you see our first time watchings. When, you got to remember, my wife and I both had prior marriages where we had children. So we had that part of our life. And then we got together, we had Braxton, and now we have grandkids. And we have had so much family things for so long that take up so much time. You were always, it's always been, hey, can we fit this in? Can we fit that in? Fit it in. Fit that in. It's easy to do. And when you see something you want to see, like maybe it's a movie, and it makes it run and it goes, you say, oh, I'm going to catch that, but then you never really make time to do it. Now, dental I don't have, but Click says free dental is important when you're a wrestler. Every day you risk losing all your teeth. Yeah, dental we have to pay out of pocket. Big Green says, okay, YouTube is being fucky, so now it sounds like you have a stutter occasionally. It's I don't even know it anymore. Jake says, when my mom caught COVID, she was in the ICU for a week. Had dialysis twice a week for almost 3 months. Her total cost was over $500,000. After insurance, she owed $900,000. There you go. That's what I mean. It's like Jake says. Now again, that's not to say that health insurance isn't an issue in America. It absolutely is. But it is not an issue for everybody. The way that the media would like to portray it is, again, that we're all one disease, one illness away from bankruptcy and despair. It's just not true. A lot of us do have very decent healthcare plans. Ooh. Shano says, speaking of dental, I've got to get all my wisdom teeth out, which is going to suck. Yeah. Mine came in perfect. I never had to have them removed. I was lucky. I think it's just because I make jokes about it, but I really do, guys. I have a mutantly large head. And I think that's why you would just assume that if my head's this big, my jaw area is big and everything just dropped in because there was tons of room. But yeah, I've had people that go through that, and it's not fun. Sweet Dude says, cost me a bit over $200 out of pocket every 6 months for a dentist checkup. That's I'm trying to remember. My wife went more recently than I did. She had some work done. She had to have a tooth pulled. That was, and she had she'd had an infection. I think everything altogether cost us like $1,200, but there were some pretty extensive things that needed to be done. I mean, when we go in for cleanings and stuff like that, it's not fun to pay for it, but it's stuff you can handle paying out of pocket. I'll catch you said I still think it would be better for like, everyone to have a decent healthcare plan just by default. But that's just a thought. It is just a thought, though. I'll catch it because sure, it's a wonderful thought, but it still would have to be implemented somehow, and that's where the issues arise. Because if our government has proven one thing, it's that they cannot handle anything is when it comes to dealing with our money. Look at it. Social Security is the perfect example. People talk about, well, we have social programs, we have Social Security. Yes. And Social Security should be flush with money right now because my generation, the boomers, paid into it for all those years, and we were the biggest numbers, our generation. So there's been just insane amounts of money poured into Social Security. Now, if the government were investing that even as conservatively as possible, as safely as possible, that should be flush with money, and instead it's running out because our government can't be trusted with a goddamn red cent. All the special interests get in there, taken from, well, we'll just, Social Security is solvent. There's a lot of money in there. We need this for this particular one politician's individual pet project. Or, hey, I got to put some of it in my pocket. We all know it goes there. There's no reason for Social Security to be hurting. But here we are, because our goddamn government can't handle it. Quasar says, do you support paid family leave? To a degree. I mean, you have to, yes, absolutely. All of these things sound wonderful, but they still have to make fiscal sense. You can't be putting small businesses out of business. You understand what I'm saying? If you start guaranteeing X amount of paid family leave, and we're not talking about Walmart or Amazon here. If you're making rules and it's across the board, and this small company who's just doing their best to get by, and excuse me, sorry guys, and especially if they're paying you a decent rate and everything, well, if you have an extensive amount of paid family leave, and this small company has to pay you and bring on another employee, you could be putting this company under. So everything has to be done with a fair and reasoned approach. Now, if you want to do paid leave over X number of employees, I think then if you're making it a tiered system, then I think you're in much better shape. Yes. Shelby Wright says, do you hear about the politician, can't remember her name, who said the retirement age should be increased to 70? There's a lot of talk about that. Was that Nikki Haley? I think it was Haley. There's a lot of talk about that because people are living longer. And again, it's all about the finances. What they don't like to talk about, and again, politically I'm in the middle because I see, depending on the issue, I'm on one side or the other. But yes, if government would cut down on the waste and we would pull back on the breaks that major corporations get and make them earn those breaks by providing more for their employees, I think we could make it all work. But that's a big if. It was Haley. I thought so. She's trying very hard not to be president. It seems that way, doesn't it, Lunatic VZ? It does. And I get that. I understand the logic behind it, that people are living longer. However, it doesn't make sense because there's already too much waste. There's far too much waste. And that's why I get people, when people hear that I'm not for government health care or universal health care and stuff, it's like, well, you don't care about people that don't have it. No, that's not it at all. I don't think the government can do it. The government has never demonstrated to me that they can handle anything responsibly. And I think what'll happen is they'll get all of us, or potentially all of us, dependent on them for something else that they're not going to be able to provide adequately. Again, Social Security is a perfect example. Social Security we put into on a separate fund. That's deducted from your paycheck separately. And if you look at the numbers, it should be flush with money, but it's not, because our government is a clusterfuck. So to trust them with anything more is insane. That's why I would prefer, as far as healthcare for all, again, first of all, pull back a lot of these breaks that the corporations are getting. I mean, we could go into details. You all know that there's too much icing at the top of the cake. We know that. And give those back to them when they meet certain parameters for providing for their employees, namely with healthcare. Because then you keep everything competitive. Because if Amazon has to pay these benefits and Walmart has to pay these benefits and they still want to be the lower price and get your business, now they're going to put pressure on the insurance companies to give them a deal. If you keep things competitive, you keep prices down. When you just hand your money to the government goes, oh, okay, all right, well, here's $2 for healthcare. There's $1 going in here. 2, 1, that's how it's going to work. It always has, and it always will with our government. The government does it with our troops, so they do. They absolutely do. And that's part of their package, their employment package, because they don't get paid particularly well, but they have their housing while they're in there. They have access to education, and they have the health benefits. That's part of what they're provided. Because that's provided, that still doesn't, again, you have to not deal with what everybody wants and what would make everything lovely for everybody. You also have to factor in the economics of it. And if you're saying that the government does it well for the troops, you might want to talk to some ex-military and the issues they've had with the VA. Because again, the government isn't always putting the appropriate amount into those services that they were promised. There's a lot of issues within the VA. Okay, Monkey, glad you're in. Well, you could be. I'm 100% with it, Quasar. Quasar says, I don't mind paying extra for products if the companies provide great employee benefits. That's why I've always said, that's why I think that system is the better way to go. We'd all understand, okay, if we're going to make these big companies provide decent health care for their employees, we're going to pay more for stuff. I think the vast majority of people are like, I really believe that. I think they'd be like, okay, cool. When you start talking about giving the money to the government and have them do it, that's when people like me get nervous, because they're not going to do it efficiently. They are not. And we're all going to end up overpaying, and we're going to get lower quality services, guaranteed. Our government just is too dysfunctional. Willie says, that's just it. I think socialism and capitalism are sound in theory, but it's a human factor. Let the big titty robots take over. 100%. Now, see, I'm a big believer in capitalism, but you're 100% right, Willie. Every form of government, if you look at the world, and as sad as this is, every form of government gets corrupted by people, by the politicians. Whether it's socialism, capitalism, whatever. It all gets corrupted, and it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. I think capitalism would work, if not perfectly, very, very well, if everybody played by the rules. And by that I mean those in government, and they simply do not. Let's see. Chrome says, I don't know if I entirely agree with that. Not from my dad. Says he's a pretty big insurance broker. Well, so you know, I'm not a supporter of socialism. What I'm saying is, whether you agree with the tenets of socialism or not, what I'm saying is, even in socialistic states, you can see where the failure comes from those within the government. Excuse me. Chase says you couldn't trust the government to piss in a straight line, right? And again, that's why I always point that out, because it's like, I don't want to seem like I'm being a dick to people. It's not that I don't want people to have health insurance. I don't want all of us giving our money to the government and having them do it, because they can't. They won't do it right. I think there are better ways to go about making sure everybody has that health care. Now, and then you can say, well, what about those who don't work? We do already have plans in place for that. There is, if for the disabled, for the elderly, there are health insurance options that the government does provide. But I think putting the onus on employers is the way to do it. And again, so you got a society that realizes, okay, well, now employers have to pay for health insurance. We're going to pay more for our goods and services. You're still going to come out way better than you would giving your money to the government and trusting them to do it. Yeah, true. Well put, Lex. An impossible request. You don't need to play by the rules when you make the rules. That's well said. It's the absolute sad, honest truth. Chrome says, honestly, I think a number of big problems the U.S. has come down to people being able to take out insane amounts of debt and having no way to write it off. That's not allowed here. No, you're right. Completely right. Yes. And again, that comes back. That's where government's supposed to be involved. Government, if it's working well, should make the playing field equal for everybody. And in doing so, protect people from predatory loans and the predators out in the business world, but they don't. A lot of times these predators get rewarded. No, I agree with you completely, Chrome. You're 100% right with that. Completely. But I always believe you're always going to be best off when you can keep as much of your money as possible and make your own buying decisions yourself, as long as the government is doing its job and making sure you have reasonable options. And that's where things start to fall apart, because the government doesn't ever do their job. No, I'm always been a believer in that. That's why, when they talk about abolishing the IRS, I think it's a great idea, because what they're saying is, instead of paying income tax, you're basically going to pay VAT. You're going to pay taxes on goods and services. I think that's an awesome idea, because again, now you've opened it up to competition. And the two I use are always Walmart and Amazon. Now they both have to charge these VATs. So they're going to do the best they can to undercut each other. You're keeping them in competition with one another. I think that's much better to do than having this tax code that is just insane and could be massively simplified, and have it massively simplified easily, but they just won't do it. Because again, the people who are at the top of the economic food chain like having it as confusing as possible. Oh, we definitely have crony capitalism, Quasar. No question. No question. Jake says one of the first steps is to make lobbying illegal. Lobbying in principle for a private citizen makes sense, but the way it is now, whoever pays congressmen more, which is companies. Yeah. Yep. And I've said this over and over too, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me. Go through the roster in Congress and look at both sides of the aisle. It doesn't matter. Look at what people's net worth were when they got in, and if they've been there for any amount of time, what their net worth is now. It's extravagant. It's insane how their net worth just accumulates. How? They don't make enough money to support that. Excuse me. I think they're making, a couple $100,000 a year? And you have people coming in with a net worth of a couple $100,000, and now they're worth $10 million 5 years later? How the fuck is that? Where else does that happen in the world? Where you're working a government job. You're not an entrepreneur. You're not somebody who started a business that took off. You're working for the fucking government. How are you getting rich? And we all accept it. Well, I'm glad you're in, Shelby. Rosalie and I am surrounded by fools, vagabonds, and idiots. Exactly. There you go, lunatic. They can do legal insider trading, plus they get some nice gifts. Yeah, nice gifts. That's what. And I've told you guys that. I am not one of these people from way back that are always, oh, you damn government. It's just recently that it's come to the point where I feel like they just absolutely cannot be trusted at all. And it's mostly garbage people running our country. Yeah, well, insider trading is supposed to be illegal, Quasar. That's the problem. But again, as Wix basically said, the people that would have to prosecute them are the ones who are doing it. So it's never, and the things we're finding out all over government, and again, it's both sides isms. Both sides are trying to utilize the government to torture and punish the other side and everything. It's just entire dysfunction anymore. Luke says, "Now being an old man sitting around bitching about the damn government is perfectly reasonable for anyone of any age." It's terrible, Lex. I take no pride in having to feel this way. It went many years ago. What you always had crooks in politics, no doubt about it. But it does seem like back in the day, you did have some people that were reliable, people you could trust, and they weren't so brazen about the things that they did. Now it's just like, you can't fucking touch me. I'm in Congress, bitch. Is it the same in Hungary? Is it, Mikos? From what you guys tell me, and this is another one of the things I really love about being able to do this with you guys. We have people from all over the world, and it's fun to hear directly from the people that live there instead of the garbage excuse we have for journalists here trying to tell us things about other parts of the world. When you get it right from you guys, it pretty much, from what I hear from all you guys, is everybody's dealing with the same types of things. It's just government has become the ultimate way for people to get rich. It is just an absolute sludge pile. Oh, I gotta go. Guys, this was an absolute blast to stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I am trying to get those videos done so we can do a 24-hour stream. When I get it put in place, I will post to the community tab right here at the YouTube channel. So, again, I know you probably won't get notified. If you think of it, stop by there every so often. But I will post to the community tab, and I will schedule it ahead of time, too. So hopefully you might get a notification on that. And I think we'll have a really good time. Now, just doing this stream for an hour and a half, and my throat's already almost gone. So I don't know how this is going to work for 24 hours. But I'm sure I'm going to try and schedule it so Spaz Kid can come in and sit with you guys for a while, give me a break here or there, maybe play a game with you guys. But we're going to play some GeoGuessr. I signed up for that. Now if you want to have the full effect, you have to pay for it at GeoGuessr. I signed up for it so we can play that. And we'll have a lot of other ideas, things to do. But this was it really was a fun stream, Big Green. This was a really, really good time. I appreciate you guys a lot. You make this so much fun for me. But next, I want to play some more Hogwarts. So we'll be doing that, and I will get my wife up here to get started on Outlast. And again, as long as I can get those videos done ahead of time, I'm off to a good start. We'll be doing a 24-hour stream soon. Guys, thanks again for hanging out with me, and I will talk to y'all real soon.